Welcome to another episode of The Day Room. Um, I am the usual host for this particular program, MGTOW Mando. You've seen me on Rhino, you've seen me on Jimmy Bones, and you've occasionally heard me on Pop. I usually super chat over there. Um, Tonight we're going to do something a little different than what's been done recently. The last few weeks, or last few streams, I should say, with Pop, Rhino, and when Jimmy decides to do a stream, have been things that get people spun up, worked up, angry, annoyed, whatever negative adjective you want to throw in there. Tonight, we're going to do something a little different. Some of you may have heard of what's called the SCP Wiki. What this is, it's an organization, it's a fictional organization. Well, first of all, the SCP Wiki is a website that is a bunch of independent horror type writers. They write stories from a scientific point of view that are supposed to be just absolutely insane, anomalous items that, in theory, may or may not exist. I stumbled upon this during COVID and I got hooked. Well, tonight, myself and whoever joins on the panel, we are researchers for the SCP Foundation. I'm going to read you an example of a safe Euclid and Keter class entity that's currently on the SCP Wiki. Then each of us on the panel is going to create on the fly our own SCP. And you in the audience, you're the O5 Council. You get to decide which one of our proposals gets funding for the remainder of the fiscal year and which ones get put into the storage bin for future research. Without further ado, the only person that so far is on our panel tonight is MGTOW Outlaw, who is going by Blondzilla tonight. An oddly appropriate title given what we're talking about.
Hey, yeah, I kind of forgot to change my name back, but yeah, we'll roll with it. Why not?
Okay. Before I delve into the 3 SCP articles that I picked out for the examples, Outlaw, what is your idea of something strange, disturbing, and or frightening that may or may not exist?
Well, based upon a lot of the stories that I've heard, the urban myths, the legends, like Mothman or Slender Man or Siren Head, I would think something that you always get the feeling of it's always there, but you never can see it until the
Or
very
there
last second.
or there's just enough evidence to indicate that it might be there, but not enough to confirm it conclusively?
Yeah, kind of like ghost stories, stuff like that. You
Okay.
always have in the back of your mind that something is there. You're always not alone, but yeah, pretty much something like that.
Alrighty. So this is something that might be right up your alley,
Mm.
because tonight this is not about messing with your brain, which I know me and Crusader Nate like to do to you and Jimmy on a regular basis. Tonight, this is all about you coming up with something that, granted, it's going to have to be YouTube friendly because I'm on Poverty Yard,
Oh yeah,
but
absolutely.
it is this is your chance to come up with something that may or may not be nightmare fuel for other people. And heck, if you decide to use Jimmy's Nightmare Demon as the basis for your SCP, go right ahead. There's actually a precedent for that.
Sweet.
Now, before I read these articles, a brief explanation. You heard me mention Safe, Euclid, and Keter as object classes.
Mm-hmm.
What this is, it's all about how difficult it is to contain these items.
Yeah.
As you're going to see from the examples I picked, safe does not mean it's not hazardous to your health.
Nice.
Euclid is a little bit harder to contain, but may or may not be dangerous.
Hmm.
And Keter, this could be something very dangerous, but hard to contain, or it could be something that is completely innocuous that you can't keep in a box.
Nice.
So, literally, this is whatever you want to have it be.
Oh,
But-
sweet.
But we are going to go ahead and jump into this. After each article, I'll pop back over here. We'll chit chat for a couple of minutes. If you got any questions, comments, or snarky statements, and then we'll jump over to the next one. By the way, in the description of this particular video, there is the link to the SCP Wiki. Oh, we got Tommy D joining us.
So,
Hey
Hello,
there.
gentlemen.
Hey, Tommy,
buddy?
have you? How much of what I just told everybody have you heard?
Well, I just came in on the ass end of that. I'm not real super familiar with SCP though. I've read a little bit
Okay.
of it.
Okay, are you familiar with what the object classes are?
No, that I did not hear.
Okay. Without going through the whole spiel again,
Mm-hmm.
simple
Just give me the
version-
rundown, man.
Simple version. All of us on the panel tonight are researchers for the SCP Foundation. Feel free to
Okay.
come up with some wacky name for yourself. I don't care. Each of us is going to be presenting to the audience an SCP object based on, it can be based off of whatever you want. I'm going to
Uh-huh.
read 3 of the articles from the wiki.
Okay.
And the audience, they're the O5 Council. They get to decide who gets funded, who doesn't.
Okay.
I like
Now, when it comes to the object classes we're going to be talking about tonight, safe. These are things that might be hazardous to your health, but can be contained relatively easily.
Mm-hmm.
A stick of dynamite locked in a cardboard or locked in a safe. That's a safe class SCP.
Okay.
A leaky bottle of nitroglycerin stored in the same safe is not a safe class SCP. Or technically it's, well, it could go either way depending on how you want to look at it.
Well,
But-
if the dynamite's sweaty, yeah, it's not safe.
But either, well, technically speaking, a safe class can still be hazardous to your health.
Mm-hmm.
And a Keter class, despite being hard to store, might be the most inane and innocuous item in the face of the universe.
Okay.
You don't know. It's all about what it does. So and I'm doing this because we've talked a lot about stuff that gets people spun up the last several streams. And I figure this is just going to be a nice, fun, semi-paranormal thing. Could be real, could not be real. Don't know. Don't think we want to find out.
Explore some fictional extrapolation.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
the other
Mhm.
part to this, I stumbled on SCP during COVID. I got hooked on it during COVID. If they pull the same BS with lockdowns, this will be a great way for people to get some entertainment that they don't have
Yeah.
to go to Hollyweird for.
Well,
Because trust me, some of these things are a lot more bizarre than Hollywood can come up with.
yeah, I've seen some of the stuff. It is crazy.
But we are going to go ahead and jump into this. I'm going to do a share screen
Okay.
so everybody can see the articles that I'm calling up. And these are all coming directly from the SCP Wiki, ladies and gentlemen.
Mm-hmm.
So the very first one is a safe class. This is SCP-346. Object class, safe. Special containment procedures. SCP-346 is to be kept in a store-bought birdcage at least 1 meter in height and 1.5 meter in width either direction. No locks or additional safety measures are required, as SCP-346 is no stronger or smarter than the average parakeet. SCP-346's cage is to contain at least 2 water dishes with standing perches to be refilled daily and fed a diet of 5 to 6 medium-sized live crickets daily. SCP-346's cage also contains 1 tree branch for perching, scratching, and climbing, One open-top nest purchased at a commercial pet store, lined with moss and a string with bright-colored bells on it for entertainment. The bottom of SCP-346's cage is covered with corncob-based biodegradable bedding and is to be cleaned out and replaced every other week. During cleaning, SCP-346 may be either held by hand or allowed to fly around a room with a closed door, or placed in a paper bag with a book over the end to be held out of the way. SCP-346's cage is to be held in Dr. Wright's office and may not be moved without her express permission. Despite SCP-346's habit of nibbling fingertips and pulling strands of hair, SCP-346 poses no danger upon escape and may be recaptured gently with either a net or by hand. Ladies and gentlemen, what do you think we've got on the description here so far?
It's a bird.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what type of bird?
Well, you shared the screen, so.
Oh, I know. You already see it. Then. Yeah, okay, I'm going to go ahead and continue on. SCP-346 is a small member of an unidentified family of pterodactyl flying ancient reptiles. SCP-346 is approximately the size of a small bat and has a very lightweight bone structure. Although its head, wings, and legs are bare, its main body is covered with a soft coat of fur-like dark-colored down. The origin of SCP-346 is unknown and was purchased by Agent Redacted in a small pet shop in Brazil, being marketed under the name Congo Mato. I'm probably mispronouncing that. It should probably be in Spanish, but I'm going with what's written.
No, you pronounced it correctly for Spanish.
The
Congo Mato.
The owner of the pet store claims not to know where SCP-346 came from, having purchased a set of eggs off the black market, of which only one, SCP-346, hatched, believing them to be from a rare species of parrot. Some theories suggest that there may be a large colony of creatures similar to SCP-346 somewhere in South America. Testing has revealed that SCP-346 is an adult, but appears to have grown somewhat stunted by malnutrition and being raised in a small, cramped cage. SCP-346 is also a male and has been nicknamed by staff who find the little creature's appearance charming as Terry. SCP-346 behaves in a manner similar to birds and bats, being most active at dawn and dusk, and energetically flying in whatever space it's given, snapping up insects either out of the air or off the ground and branches. SCP-346 chirps and squeaks in a manner similar to birds and rodents, and is most vocal during the evening hours. Some describe this as endearing, others annoying. Addendum 1. After the discovery of SCP-1265, some theories suggest that there may be a large colony of creatures similar to SCP-346 somewhere in South America. However, the existence of SCP-346 implies that the alleged colonies, should they exist, do not possess the same properties as SCP-1265. Addendum 2. It has been suggested that further investigation into the origins of SCP-346 be taken in the hopes of finding a large colony of similar creatures, perhaps indicative of a surviving member of the pterodactyl lineage or a rip in space-time. 346 should be kept well away from SCP-529 as per request of Dr. Wrights. So, gentlemen, what do you think of that example of a safe class SCP?
What does SCP stand for, by the way?
Secure, Contain, Protect.
Okay.
The SCP Foundation's whole reason to exist is to keep anomalous items from the public eye, protect normality, and allegedly to keep these things from being misused.
Okay.
Like every other organization that claims to be doing things for the greater good, though, their definition of misused and our definition of misused probably is not the same thing. As might be shown with one of the examples we've got coming up here tonight.
Yeah, most of these that I've read, I never got the gist, and I was trying to figure out what the hell was going on. And now that you've explained it, I understand fully.
Oh, some of them are quite disturbing.
Yeah, there was something. There was a Xeno. What the hell they call it?
Xenomorph.
Xenomorph one that I read that was kind of like, what the fuck? It made
Oh yeah.
Alien look tame.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. There's a couple of them that are like that.
Mm-hmm.
Now here's the really funny thing. The SCP that I chose for the safe class, it's a solid example of a safe class SCP. And it is also a safe one to be around.
Mm-hmm.
Not all SCPs like that guy are actually safe to be around.
Right.
Because there is a safe class SCP that, if you were dumb enough to look at it and then stop paying attention to it, you might end up dead within 6 to 8 weeks. Slick South, I made sure to leave the links in the description, and I encourage people to look it up, and I encourage people to go ahead and, if they feel the urge, write up skips. It's a fun way to explore things that might be driving you absolutely BS insane.
It's a good journalistic outlet,
Mm-hmm.
if
Yeah.
you will.
Yeah, exactly. And creative writing is one of the things that some therapists say to use to help you work through issues that you have going on in your life.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a skip that I've been writing up for the last couple of months that I keep kicking it back to myself before publishing because I'm not happy with my edits.
Mm-hmm.
But are we ready to move on to the Euclid class example that I picked for tonight?
Sure.
Yeah, sure.
All right, this is going to get a little weirder. Oh, and I do want to also say this. There is no such thing as canon in SCP.
Mm-hmm.
You can literally write up a skip that contradicts one of the other ones that they have out there, and as long as the community of other authors accepts it, no one cares. There are some of these where main characters are absolute goofballs, and others where they're total sociopaths. But sharing screen again for SCP-157. This is a Euclid class entity. Special containment procedures. When not being used in an experiment, SCP-157 is to be stored in its cryobiotic form in a dry, airtight container. It is estimated that SCP-157 can survive in this condition for at least 10 years. Specimens needing for experimentation can be removed from storage and given water and then food to restore to a usable state. Personnel working with an active SCP-157 colony are cautioned not to eat, drink, change clothing, or apply any substance to their body in the presence of SCP-157. Foundation Mobile Task Force agents are authorized to administer Class A amnestics to any survivors or witnesses of wild SCP-157 attacks. I am pausing there for a moment because I do need to clarify what a couple of those things are. MTF, that's a mobile task force used by the SCP Foundation. This can be anywhere from a typical military or Delta Force type combat operations team to a group of scientists going in to make sure that, yes, the thing is weird and does need to be put into containment. Amnestics are split into multiple different flavors, and basically all they are, they're forget-me drugs. If anyone has seen the movie Men in Black, the flashy thing that
Yep.
that they use on Will Smith several times in that movie would be an amnestic, probably a Class B, or it could be a Class A or Class B, given the way it acts.
Mm-hmm.
But that's an example of an amnestic type device seen in Hollywood. Now, depending on who the author is, the drugs can be really super effective and have no side effects, or they can be about as dangerous as having a full frontal lobotomy performed by somebody who doesn't know what a lobotomy even is.
Oh God. Or how they're performed.
That too. But I figured an explanation would be needed before we move forward. St.
Okay.
St. Louis Arch. I hate to say this, but that would actually be SCP 7,469 at this point. There are over 7,000 entries on the SCP Wiki.
And he's just being funny anyway. But 469, yeah.
Okay, but moving on. Description. SCP-157 is a previously unknown microscopic animal in the tardigrade phylum, adapted to live on land as a predator. Like other tardigrades, the SCP-157 is extremely resilient to environmental damage and can enter a cryobiotic state when no food is present. SCP-157 normally exists as an amorphous mass composed of millions of individual organisms. In this form, it can slowly crawl and climb. SCP-157 colonies are predatory and can attack insects and small animals by engulfing them and then slowly dissolving their prey with digestive enzymes. Humans and other large prey are not normally attacked directly by SCP-157 colonies, as they are too large to engulf and long-term contact is necessary for 157 to feed. The organism has developed an alternative method of achieving such contact. SCP-157 colonies possess an innate telepathic ability. When the presence of prey that is too large to directly attack, SCP-157 will use telepathy to present the illusion of something the prey wants to eat, wear, or apply to its body. The SCP-157 is highly toxic when eaten. Someone having done so requires antidotes to Redacted and Redacted within 20 minutes, as well as immediate gastric surgery to remove the portion that was eaten. When applied to human or animal skin, SCP-157 will produce an anesthetic to encourage prey to ignore pain and leave the organism in place. It then dissolves and consumes the skin within 30 minutes to 2 hours. Dead prey is rapidly consumed, and SCP-157 will grow significantly as it feeds. When it reaches a size of 5 kilograms, it will split into smaller colonies that will move off in search of new prey. When in the presence of 2 or more individuals, SCP-157 will have an inconsistent appearance. It may appear to be a food item to one person, an article of clothing to another. This can serve as a warning and prevent exposure to the organism. Addendum. Note that due to its resilient nature, SCP-157 can be split into smaller pieces, boiled, microwaved, etc., and remain alive and dangerous. Unless you all are really interested, I'm not going to read the capture incidents because I think we've already figured out
Yeah.
what the deal is with this critter. So, thoughts, gentlemen?
Ew.
Somebody got too much time on their hands.
Hey, I did say SCP can get weird. And believe me, we aren't even coming close to scratching the surface.
No, I've seen some shit that's just what?
Well, okay, there's a safe class. There's a safe class that's known as the Reluctant Dimension Hopper.
Mm.
From the description, it basically looks like Tommy or myself. Just an average, normal human being, male, Caucasian, who can be sitting there talking to you all nice and politely one moment, and then disappear the next. You'd better not be touching him when he disappears, because you will be sucked into whatever parallel universe he goes into, and you may or may not come back.
Right. Or survive the trip. Yeah.
Most of the time they survive. It's the return trip that's the problem. But yeah, technically he's a safe class because he doesn't want to be out in the middle of public when all of a sudden he just vanishes. Nor does he want to all of a sudden appear in the middle of, say, a bank vault.
Right.
Area 51. The Oval Office.
Well, that might be the way to go.
But no, if I remember the story for how he got contained correctly, he was actually locked up in an insane asylum, and he kept getting arrested because they thought he was escaping all the time truth of the matter was, he was just shifting from one dimension to another, and when he came back, he was in a different place, and he was trying to figure out where the heck he was.
Yeah, that's the interdimensional elves that Alex Jones talked about.
Okay, now for the last one, and the most challenging to contain, the Keter class example for tonight. SCP-017. Do not ignore the blob in the corner. SCP-017, object class Keter. Special containment procedures. SCP-017 is contained in an acrylic glass cage, 100 centimeters by 50 centimeters by 50 centimeters, essentially suspended in a concrete room measuring 6 meters by 6 meters by 4 meters. Attached to the walls, ceiling, and floor of the room are high-intensity arc lamp spotlights pointed directly at the acrylic glass cage to ensure that SCP-017 is constantly exposed to light from every angle. Personnel exposed to the light, or personnel assigned to the SCP-017 control room, are to monitor the functionality of the spotlights and the emergency generator system at all times, and call for maintenance immediately upon knowledge of a burnt-out lamp or issue with the generator. The only circumstance under which personnel are allowed entrance is to replace the lamps. Personnel entering the room are required to wear the designated full-body reflective suits and must be cautioned not to step in front of functional spotlights. This sounds fun already, doesn't it, gentlemen?
Oh, yeah.
Dude, how much you want to bet it's going to get worse?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
Description. SCP-017 is a humanoid figure approximately 80 centimeters in height, anatomically similar to a small child, but with no discernible identifying features. SCP-017 seems to be composed of a shadowy smoke-like shroud. No attempt to find any object beneath the shroud has been successful, but the possibility has not been ruled out. SCP-017's reaction to shadows cast upon its immediate... SCP-017's reaction to shadows cast upon it is immediate and swift. SCP-017 leaps at the object casting the shadow and completely encloses it in its shroud, whereupon it returns to its normal size, leaving no trace of the object behind. Outlaw, do you want to step in front of the spotlight in front of this weird shadow kid?
No.
Personnel, we're not going to bother with the additional notes here. So, but gentlemen, what do you think about that one?
I don't know if I can come up with anything even closely resembling some of this craziness.
Well, if you want, we can kick open the wiki and just pick at random ones to read off whatever you guys think would be entertaining.
What do you think? What do you think,
we can
Outlaw?
just make fun of them.
Yeah, let's do it, man.
Honestly, that sounds like more fun than trying to come up with our own craziness.
I mean,
okay.
Now we can add to it.
That sounds good. And what we can do is revisit this a few weeks from now after having a chance to actually write something up. So this might turn into a two-parter. Let me open a new window.
I mean, I could probably write one about my Blonzilla here, but that'd just be weird, man.
Actually, that would be hilarious, and you should spend some time with it.
Okay, you know what? Outlaw, just because you mentioned that, I'm going to go ahead and open up one of the joke SCPs.
Okay.
Let's see if I can find one of the good ones.
Hey, that blonde is no joke. I'm sorry to say. She's packing heat.
I mean, what would I write? We are containing a giant blonde waitress that...
Well, there's got to be a strip club involved and a Patrick Swayze-esque character.
You make... I know you're joking about that, but here's the funny thing. There is an SCP strip club article.
Oh, I'm sure there is.
Oh, okay.
It's disturbing,
Yeah.
but it's also hilarious.
Probably looks like something out of one of the Star Wars movies in the cantina.
Probably.
I don't know if I'm going to regret this, but yeah, let's do it. I know there's going to
Okay.
be something here. I just
Oh
know it.
God.
Well, I'm looking for one of the joke SCPs that I haven't read a few times. Because there's one I like to go to that I think is hilarious, but you played them too often and it loses the humor.
Yeah, they get old after that.
Okay. I am going to share the screen again,
Mm-hmm.
so that way anyone who wants to read along can.
Okay.
This is SCP-2001-J. Object Class Euclid. Special Containment Procedures. Samples of SCP-2001-J are to be thoroughly destroyed after testing. SCP-2001-J is a species of mammalian gut flora, which is a variant of Lactobacillus reuteri. Upon consumption of foodstuff contaminated by SCP-2001-J, a mammal's native population of that bacteria will be replaced by SCP-2001-J. This process occurs over a period of 2 to 3 days and typically goes unnoticed by the host organism. When a coherent population of SCP-2001-J, as may occur due to gastrointestinal stresses, they adhere to one another, a process which is facilitated by rapid generation of cobalamin. I probably butchered that. The SCP-2001-J bacteria will align along the common axis of that material's generation.
Mm-hmm.
This process causes a thin unicellular sheet of SCP-2001-J to form. When agitation ceases, 2001-J will coherently bioluminesce along the axis perpendicular to the sheet. The degree of luminescence involved is in the order of 3 watts per SCP-2001-J bacterium. However, the luminescence will typically cease after 50 milliseconds. This results in a directed coherent light source similar to that of a multiple kilowatt laser projected from the posterior of the infectee. Addendum number 1. Research into weaponizing SCP-2001-J is ongoing.
Of course.
Addendum 2. The first MTF team equipped exclusively with SCP-2001-J infections. Oh, I'm going to regret using this one.
Mm-hmm.
The Laser Butt Squad has been created to combat the spread of SCP-789-J.
Wow.
That's not one of the funnier joke SCPs.
No, but it was. Yeah, I know where they're going with that.
Yeah, I do too. It was probably written by a 12-year-old.
It could
let's
be.
Just be honest.
Or somebody that had just watched a Mike Myers movie, one in particular.
Or the other
sharks with frickin' lasers on their heads.
Or the other option is they could have been infantrymen that were drunk and had to take a creative writing class.
Yeah, or punishment for something stupid. Instead of moving rocks, they got to write. That would have been a nuke in the Navy. God, those guys were stupid. Anyway.
Okay, I found another joke SCP that we're going to have to do in honor of our favorite streamer that we work with on a regular basis.
Jimmy?
The Cougar Slayer himself.
Oh, yeah. I saw Rhino check in, but the son of a bitch ain't showing up and talking.
Yeah,
anymore.
he ducked out real quick. I think this is something
puke.
that's a little out of his league.
He's a scared.
Okay, SCP-8231-J. Object class, originally Keter. Now it's Super Apollyon, whatever the hell that is. Special containment procedures. SCP-8231-J is kept in my lab with my toys. only I can play with him, and he's my friend now. SCP-8231-J is the coolest T-Rex. It has wings for arms and likes to fight crime and stomp hard. It can also talk and think because I made it very smart. Sometimes it gives me piggyback rides.
God.
By researcher James, age 10.
Mm-hmm.
Do we want to read the audio logs or not?
No. No, I got that one right there. That's definitely a 10-year-old kid. And it's a cool one though.
Yeah, no, that is a funny one.
Uh-huh.
And if Cougar Slayer was still in the chat, he would probably be griping us out right about now for reading it.
Oh yeah, he'd be bitching and complaining. T-Rex has never had wings. Okay, in the D&D world, that is known as a wyvern. Am I wrong?
I'm not going to disagree because technically that's also in Skyrim, even
Yes.
though they call them dragons, but they're missing 2 limbs.
Right. They've got wings but no forelimbs. That's a wyvern in D&D.
Mm-hmm. Okay. There are currently 7 series of SCPs that are not joke SCPs. You guys pick one of the series, and I'll go into the wiki and see what one looks good.
Okay.
Like I said, 1 through 7, or we could open up a random number generator.
The ones of these that I've seen on YouTube have usually had to do with space exploration.
Oh, there's a lot of those that deal with space.
One of them that I've seen deals with Siren Head.
Okay, I'm not sure if that's actually a skip. That might be a creepypasta.
Yeah.
Because
I wouldn't be surprised there's both, honestly.
Neither would I, to be honest with you. But okay, like I said, we got 1 through 8. I misread it as 1 through 7. My bad. So, gentlemen, what series sounds good to you guys to jump into for the next one?
So, shall we go 3? Just because.
Okay.
Just because.
Dead in the Center.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think, Outlaw? Good.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
Oh, and because you both have mentioned a space version one, actually that's been covered several times. I don't know if I really want to do that. Actually, hang on. This is one that you guys might enjoy. SCP-2010. And this one is another safe class, which may or may not actually be safe.
Are they?
This is one I have this is one I have never seen before. SCP-2010. Object class safe. Object storage procedures. SCP-2010 should be kept at Sector 3-242 on the second shelf of Secure Storage Vault 4 unless tests are needed. Tests are only to use D-Class personnel, and no other personnel are to observe SCP-2010 for any reason. Quick pause. D-Class personnel are convicted convicts, usually on death row, who have been volunteered for a 1-month rotation dealing with dangerous anomalous entities. Their survival rate is literally, they get in, 30 days later, they're removed from the program. I'll let you figure out how they're removed.
Yeah.
If they survive.
In a bag.
Summary. SCP-2010 appears to be a cell phone made by the Apple Company. The screen has the phrase prototype scratched onto the glass. The O's are unusually large. There are no logos on SCP-2010, as would commonly be found on cell phones of the same brand. SCP-2010 also lacks a battery and does not work properly. When a subject touches SCP-2010, the cover of Can't Take My Eyes Off of You by Walk Off the Earth starts to play through unknown means. The subject drops SCP-2010 once the song starts to play and always falls over near the speakers. They do not move from that spot unless the song has ended. After the song ends, the subject can no longer grasp the concept of eyes. Whenever the subject should sense an eye, they sense an empty area. All test subjects have rejected the fact that they have eyes. Addendum. SCP-2010 was recovered under a note that reads, "Do not send to factory. Object does not work as hoped. We must sort out the homophone problems. We do not have a problem because of eyes. No, that was a great error that shall be corrected. We just want that darned character to be expelled from our plane of presence. That lone syllable has been the source of our agony, and our cause cannot rest. We must bury our enemy away from here and allow the cosmos to be corrupted no longer. The solace of peace shall come soon, brother. The world shall hear our protest song. The order of the four vowels shall succeed. Prefect Crowley."
Mm-hmm.
So,
And if you don't know who Crowley was, oh boy.
so does that one deserve to be called a safe class SCP?
No.
Oh, remember, you just have to put that thing in a box and not touch it, and it won't go anywhere or do anything.
Sure.
So technically, by that, it's safe. But is it safe to handle?
No.
Nope.
see why I was saying that objects can be considered safe, but definitely are not safe.
It's much like asbestos-containing materials. As long as you don't turn it into dust, you won't get mesothelioma.
All right. Do we want to stick with the Series 3s, or do we want to move to something else?
We could do another one. What do you think, Ella?
Yeah, let's do it.
Which one?
Alrighty.
1
There
through
we
8.
go.
Pick a digit.
Well, no, I'm gonna stick with 3s for for one more.
Okay.
Which means we're gonna be still in the SCP-2000s for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, do we want to go ahead and see what SCP-2023 looks like? Because that is the year we are unfortunately in.
That should be interesting. Yeah.
Oh, the title alone. Okay. All right, we're gonna see if that actually holds water. Hello, Broken Pine.
Yes.
Welcome to the Freak Show. Hey, you got to admit this one is a freak show.
Well, it's a new experience.
Okay, SCP-2023, Object Class, Safe. Special Containment Procedures. A perimeter is to be established around the hillside area surrounding the origin point of SCP-2023. Security personnel assigned to the containment of SCP-2023 are to maintain the guise of a team of archaeologists overseeing the historical excavation and restoration process. Any unauthorized persons attempting to enter the perimeter are to be turned away with the explanation of keeping the area undisturbed. SCP-2023 is a localized phenomenon that occurs approximately 7 kilometers from the city of Enna, Italy. SCP-2023's point of origin is a cave located near the banks of a small lake surrounded by hills and cliffs. The cave appears to be only visible if approached on foot. SCP-2023 consists of the spontaneous appearance of various wildfires at the mouth of the cave, spreading outwards at a distance of 2 meters and apparently growing directly out of the surrounding stone. The most numerous species includes white asphodel. I'm not going to read the scientific names because F Latin words. And various types of narcissus, including the poet's narcissus, angel tears, and wild daffodil. Close inspection reveals that the flowers are not composed of organic material, but rather thinly cut and delicately arranged precious gemstones. No, Jimmy, if you're watching this later, this is not thinly cut and deep fried. The jeweled flowers produced by SCP-2023 disintegrate if touched and disappear after a period of 2 to 3 days, roughly 48 to 72 hours. No remains or traces are left on the ground when the flowers disappear. Although SCP-2023 occurs intermittently and unpredictably, a significant variant of the phenomenon has been observed yearly at the onset of the autumn season. SCP-2023's range will extend to approximately 5 meters, and the flowers will be accompanied by non-native lesser batwing butterflies. Both will remain until snowfall begins in the mountains of the surrounding province. At the advent of the first frost, any wind that passes through the area will trigger vibrations in the flowers, resulting in the gems producing melodic tones similar to human vocalizations. This anomaly will cease by the next morning. Addendum 1. Although the cave of SCP-2023's initial manifestation has been investigated, no significant interior features, e.g. tunnels or caverns, have been discovered beyond the cave entrance. However, the rock wall facing the cave opening was noted to possess the following inscription, translated from Greek, carved into the stone face. This is the only life I can hope to offer. Lend me your smile and tears a while. You outweigh the long days of darkness. Beloved, dear queen, please continue to return. The gates to the world below will always open to you, whether you enter them or leave them. Oh, that almost sounds like a simp wrote that.
Mm-hmm.
Additionally, small fragments of metal were found scattered on the cave floor. Lab analysis indicates the metal to be high-purity iron. On 17 July 2003 at midday, SCP-2023 manifested only one jeweled species of flower, common hyacinth, throughout the late afternoon and early evening. Native butterflies of various species were noticed carrying small sprigs of thyme to the entrance of the cave. The herbs disappeared after nightfall.
Mm.
That is a oddly sad SCP.
Yeah, kind of almost a bittersweet ode to a long past individual.
Mm-hmm. The title of that one was Adonis's Apology.
Adonis's Apology. Okay.
Hence why I was like, we're going to see if this is actually safe or not.
Well, I wouldn't call that one unsafe.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't call that one hazardous to be near.
Possibly.
Mhm,
Possibly.
mhm.
Yeah, you might have to cry a little.
Okay. So, Outlaw, go ahead and pick a number from 1 to 8.
All right, 6.
Okay. So we are in the 5,000s of the SCPs. There's a couple of these that I will be bypassing completely because they've been covered to death by a lot bigger channels.
Mhm.
Well, okay, one of the big ones is SCP-5000. That one's actually more of a story than an SCP article. And in
Mhm.
that, the Foundation basically goes nuts, releases a bunch of entities to wipe out the human race.
Mm.
I was waiting for the crunch.
Um, okay, okay, two options that I see that jump out as being humorous enough for our little group. I'm going to give you the 4 digits. You two decide which one we want to go over.
Okay.
SCP-5059 or SCP-5070. You
So
get no context. You get no context on this.
5059 or 5057?
5070.
5070.
Oh, I like 5059.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Okay.
agree. I'm gonna agree.
Alrighty then. Now, I've not read these articles, so they could be really good. They could be terrible. I don't know.
Just shit.
Yeah. So, I've not read all of the skips on this, so we are going in blind, and you're going to get my reaction as genuinely as possible here.
There we go.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Item 5059 is a safe class SCP. Special containment procedures. SCP-5059 is stored in a standard high-value anomalous item locker in the safe objects wing of Site 17, sublevel 2. I'm not going to bother reading the locker number because that doesn't really matter. Instances of SCP-5059-1 must be contained under a HCP 1 through 3, depending on the property of the instance's altered vehicular state, until their expiration. No more than 10 instances of SCP-5059-1 may be retained for study at this time. Testing with this SCP can only be approved by the item's supervisor, currently Dr. Albert Frampton. I'm going to zoom in on the screen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I see it.
SCP-5059 is a VHS videotape containing the 1986 animated film Transformers, the movie. The cassette shows no special resistance to damage or age-related wear. Tape spools contained therein have proven to be portable to other cassette cases when its current housing breaks, while retaining the anomalous properties. Direct copies of SCP-5059 retain the item's anomalous properties, but have been destroyed subsequent to verification. D-Class Ascent review of the content of SCP-5059 does not reveal any deviation from the original cinematic release from Transformers the movie, according to the best of their memory, and machine analysis of the contents of each tape reveals their content to be identical. The anomalous properties of SCP-5059 only manifest after a complete viewing of the film. After its completion, subjects report an anomalous desire to emulate the characters depicted in the film. Within the first hour after viewing SCP-5059, the subject, now designated 5059-1, will spontaneously reorganize their biology into the form of a functional scale model vehicle. Instances of 5059-1 do not create additional matter, nor change the chemical composition of their flesh during a rollout event. The color, texture, and durability of SCP-5059-1's tissues also remains the same. SCP-5059-1 instances universally describe the process as incredibly painful, with many transformations requiring the breaking and reshaping of bones, tearing and reforming of ligaments, and complete reconfiguration of organ systems, as well as many forms of rapid tissue growth, as in the case of windows and signal lights. Discomfort subsides immediately upon the event's completion and may be initiated again at any time. Removal or clothing or prior to initiation has proven to drastically reduce this discomfort. So they essentially made organic Transformers by watching the movie. Do we want to read the experimentation logs?
I don't know that we need to bother.
Oh, jeez.
That's another safe class SCP, but is it really safe?
This is the Ring all over again. Yeah, don't watch the video because the chick from the well is gonna get you.
Actually, this actually may be safe because Transformers are good guys, right?
Remember,
not all of them.
It didn't say which character they transformed into.
Yeah, whether it's Decepticons or what's the other one?
Autobots.
Autobots, yeah.
Or they could have changed into the monster planet that eats other planets.
Oh,
I don't remember that shit, but I never got into Transformers.
Yeah, in the 1980s movie, the main villain was a thing called Unicron. It was basically a Death Star that could turn into other planets and ate planets.
Okay. Yeah. I'm glad I missed it.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and read SCP-5070. You guys might find this one darkly amusing. You might find it disturbing.
Well, if there's sex with corpses, we'll be all right. What?
I don't think we're going to go anywhere near that, Skip. There is actually a skip where that is something that occurs.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure. You've got to have a ghoul that has sex with things.
If you can dream it, there's probably an SCP of it somewhere.
It's Rule 34, man.
Only for horror instead of porn.
Right.
Okay. SCP-5070. Object Class Euclid. Special Containment Procedures. SCP-5070 is to be kept in Site-15's indoor aviary. 2x4 wooden planks coated in red paint are to be provided to SCP-5070 3 times a day for feeding purposes. After completion of feeding, the planks are to be retrieved and repainted. 1 live rabbit is to be provided to SCP-5070 weekly. In the event that SCP-5070 escapes, personnel are to use red objects to lure the anomaly back into containment. Oh crap, I'm wearing a red shirt.
Uh-oh.
SCP-5070 is a black desktop stapler. SCP-5070 is sentient and displays behavior similar to the birds of the Piccidae family. It is capable of locomotion through short hops or flight, which is accomplished through the use of 2 triangular pieces of A4 paper taped to the handle, which acts as wings. Testing has confirmed that the paper is heavily durable compared to non-anomalous counterparts, other than an inscription etched on the bottom of SCP-5070 displaying the word VAMP. The item is in good condition. SCP-5070 is normally passive and shows signs that resemble affection towards humans, with the exemption of feeding. In its hunting state, it will protrude staple teeth from the hole of the carrier and hunt for the nearest living animal. Upon locating prey, it will attempt to crush or fasten the prey to nearby surfaces and repeatedly staple it until deceased. Piercing the skin a final time before sucking the entirety of the blood using the staple teeth as a focal point. It is currently unknown how SCP-5070 is able to absorb blood, nor what becomes of the liquid after consumption. After feeding, it will return to a passive state. SCP-5070 is able to use red coloring as a substance for sustenance. When given objects colored red or other shades of red, it will approach and bite down on the widest surface possible. The color will recede to where the teeth meet until disappearing completely, leaving neutral colors, white, gray, black, etc., behind. This process only affects the color red. Other colors will be unaffected despite being able to gain sustenance from any red object. SCP-5070 prioritizes blood as a food source. After instance of SCP-5070 attacking personnel following long periods of substitute feeding, containment procedures have been updated to include introduction of 1 live rabbit every week to amend the issue. Discovery. On 9/15/2008, SCP-5070 was discovered by the Foundation following a series of reports involving red objects suddenly turning gray without apparent cause in Mission Vihio, California.
Vihio, yeah.
Agents were dispatched to the area and eventually encountered SCP-5070 stapling carcasses of, I'm sorry, outlaw, squirrels to a tree within the premises of a private golf course.
What the hell?
SCP-5070 did not resist and was apprehended with relative ease. All objects affected were repainted to their original color as necessary.
Oh, I hate this thing already.
Shortly after capture, it became apparent that the objects that SCP-5070 had affected led a trail from the golf course to the suburban home of Dominic White, person of interest 1877, a 29-year-old accountant employed by the Redacted Company. The house was found uninhabited at the time. The premises was investigated and uncovered multiple indicators that SCP-5070 was kept in the house. Among these were all windows, with the exception of the second floor bathroom, were covered in blinds, and each of the doors leading inside the building had multiple locks inside of them. All of the furniture were covered in layers of bubble wrap. An abundant amount of cans of red paint and wooden blocks were stored in the pantry. Binders detailing thaumaturgic practices, aka magic, and arts were found on on a workbench in the garage. Inside the binder was a set of written transactions detailing a list of items being sent to various named individuals. A custom-made indoor aviary in the main bedroom. The bars of the cage were made of denser metals and were significantly reinforced. Inside the aviary were contained the seat and chains of a playground swing set, a bird feeder modified to dispense rabbit blood, and several chew toys embedded with staples. A search was immediately issued for the POI listed above. Foundation agents posing as law enforcement investigated, redacted. It was revealed that he left work early on the excuse of a family emergency. All attempts to trace his cell phone have failed. Nearly a month after containment of SCP-5070, security personnel discovered POI 1877 scouting the area of Site 15. He attempted to flee but was quickly arrested. His vehicle was found nearby along with a bag of tools, a Crossman brand BB gun, and a rough sketch of the layout of the site stored in the trunk. Upon confirming the identity, an interview was scheduled to determine his relationship with SCP-5070. I'm not going to click the access because I don't know if it's going to play an audio file or take us to a text document.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Okay, some interesting footnotes. Number 1, I'm not going to worry about because I don't have the context for. Number 2, SCP-5070 expresses affection by perching on the shoulder and rubbing it against the neck while clapping its carrier against the crimp area in repetitive short bursts. To most staff, this is generally viewed with discomfort. When pulling the handle away from the carrier, SCP-5070 is found to be empty of staples. It has been theorized that SCP-5070 produces these staples internally when in its hunting state. And obviously, these were code names.
Mm-hmm.
Are we disturbed yet, gentlemen?
Yeah.
That's a hell of a stapler.
Yeah. Actually, yeah. Very much so.
Well,
My squirrel brethren.
now here's the question. If that thing were to reproduce, would it be said that the donor stapled or nailed the mate?
Mm.
Oh.
I gotta try to keep it light here.
That's a good question. I'm thinking nailed, regardless if it's staples or not.
What brand of stapler is it?
Yes.
It's got to be a swing line. It's got to be a swing line.
See,
The only stapler.
Here's the thing that you got to remember when it comes to skips, Outlaw. They try to keep them as vague as possible, so you can. All right, let me full screen you there, Tommy, because I can't see what you're doing.
I'll bring it up a little closer.
Oh God.
Yeah,
It's
that's a pocket.
Mini swing line.
Yeah, that's a pocket stapler.
Yep. Yeah, don't put it in your pocket. It might get your crotch or your cock. I mean, what?
Okay, so we've got about 30 minutes before Jimmy allegedly will be opening a backstage if he actually streams tonight. Want to read a couple more of these and then call it for the evening, gentlemen?
I'm going to take a quick piss break. But yeah, let's do a couple more.
All right.
Sounds good to me.
Outlaw, are you going to go take a break as well, or are you going to stick around?
Yeah, I can. It don't matter. I'll go get something to drink real quick.
All right. Any of you still in the chat that are interested in this, feel free to put down a series number, and depending on if anyone from the rest of the panel decides they want to jump back in, we can go ahead and go take a look at that series and see what effed up and hopefully not overly disturbing items we can find. Again, I included the links to several SCP YouTube channels in the description, and the link to the SCP Wiki in general in the description. I hope everyone that's on here is enjoying this, and if not, feel free to thumbs down this. I need to know what you guys actually enjoy for the material we put out and what you guys want me to avoid in the future. I don't have a break at the moment, so I'm stepping away. I'm going to refill my own drink, and I'll be back shortly.
And I'll pick up the slack at this point.
Yeah, I'm back now too. So.
All right. Yeah, I'm thinking we need to see if we can find a Cthulhu themed SCP.
Cthulhu.
Yeah, the old gods.
Oh.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
She used to work at Hooters, and now she's been contained in the SCP unit. 304 SCP Unit 304.
Oh, you got to look that up because I'm sure there's already one that exists.
Upon eating chicken wings and beer, she becomes larger in size, wreaking havoc on Twin Peaks and other non-Hooters affiliated restaurants.
Let me ask the question: buffalo
Yeah.
sauce or ranch dressing?
Oh, damn. Oh my god. For some reason or another, she has grown a pistol on her leg.
You know what?
Used.
I know what it is. It's
What's
sriracha. She uses sriracha sauce, not buffalo or ranch. And it pisses her off and makes her grow, and then she gets armed afterwards.
Oh god. Oh my god, this is so retarded.
Okay.
Oh
Well,
my god.
Looks like the panel's completely back.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we've
still
already
got-
been discussing stories.
Oh,
We've still got 8 people watching whatever this cluster fornication is.
Oh boy.
god.
I ain't heard anybody bitch or complain.
Yeah, so either one of two things. They're so disturbed by what we're talking about that they are listening just because it's a train wreck.
Or they're
They-
sleeping.
Exactly. So, all right.
Oh, god.
Tommy, Outlaw got the last series call, so I see MM43 calls out for number 4.
Yeah, let's do it. I like it.
Okay.
Yep.
So let's see what number 4 has on offer. All right, we are in the 3000s. And again, I'm trying to stick to ones that I haven't seen other YouTube channels cover.
Sure.
Right.
All right, let me see just how long this one is, because given our community's track record. Oh, yes. SCP 3043.
Uh-oh.
Actually, I'm not actually gonna read this one because it has several attachments on the very end of it.
Hmm.
No, I will go ahead and read this one. Date 15/12/2005. Site director August 205-5 secretary. Subject referencing containment breach. I'm still not quite sure what just happened. Yesterday, our bots picked up unauthorized changes to documents on our internal servers. 2 minutes later, all on-site personnel, including myself, blacked out for 3 hours. Every camera ceased to function during this period. Oh, I forgot to share the screen. My bad.
All good.
Yeah.
Okay. Every camera ceased functioning during this period. When we woke up, we all had headaches. The entire site smelled like cigarettes and cheap alcohol. 2 of my guards were injured. 3 bullets were lodged in my desk, and somebody had shot SCP-3043. The only clue we've got regarding those 3 hours is SCP-3043's old documentation, which has been, well, updated, is one way to put it. I've included it with this email, along with the revised documentation for SCP-3043. We've got no clue who this Murphy Law character is. I'm recommending we immediately assign him an SCP identification and start identifying. All the evidence we've got so far indicates that he and SCP-3043 are unrelated anomalies. Also, none of us actually remember him, despite some of us being featured in whatever the hell this was. The short of it is this. Either he saved us from the mother of all containment breaches, or he just wanted us to think that he did. Regardless of which, we need to know who he is and what the hell he's capable of. First attachment, item number .log. Okay, this is a script. I'm not reading that. I think most of this is a script for like a TV show.
Yeah.
If I was doing SCP Explained and actually had the capability of writing or doing that up in the proper format, I would, but yeah, no. I don't have that kind of skill with animation at the best of times.
Well,
but
use your words. Use your words.
But given the fact that we've all had issues with Murphy multiple times this year, that article had to be read.
I'm not going to jinx it, but
don't say it.
Yeah,
don't say it.
Yeah.
Do not say it.
Yeah, I'm really thinking about poking the cat, the tiger, but I might not do that.
Oh, okay. Okay, you just mentioned one that I have to look up the name or the number of, and even though it's been covered, I am going to read it off.
Nice.
Which one?
Of the Stein related. What is he talking about?
Okay, here we go. We're going to SCP-247, gentlemen.
All right.
And you will probably be disturbed ever so slightly.
Nothing like any time I wake up in the morning to look at my dick.
Oh my god.
What the fuck is all this gray hair? God damn it.
Man.
MM43, I need the context behind that question because I have no idea.
Yeah, Stein.
I have no idea what you're talking about there. Okay, SCP-247. Object class, Euclid. SCP-247 is kept in an enclosure of at least 20 by 40 meters, furnished based on the plans provided by the redacted zoo and lined with striked out, offset from the rest of site redacted by at least 50 meters in order to mitigate its psychic effect. As per current containment procedures for SCP-148, its use in the containment of other SCPs is to be avoided if at all possible. 05-redacted. SCP-247 is to be fed 18 kilograms of fresh meat on a tri-weekly basis. Feeding occurs in a separate enclosure. Cleaning staff should enter the enclosure only during designated feeding times. No other access to the enclosure is allowed. The footage resulting from any violation of this order is to be archived for use in training the cleaning and monitoring staff of SCP-247. In the case of a containment breach, the entire wing must be evacuated and all live footage of the incident heavily censored. The area SCP-247 occupies will be sealed off and gassed, followed by the return of SCP-247 to containment. If, for any reason, this should become impossible, a retrieval team will be sent in, heavily armed with heavy tranquilizer rifles. Retrieval team agents must be especially selected for high reflexes, excellent marksmanship, unquestioning obedience, and low empathy scores. Description. SCP-247 is a Bengal tiger, to which all observers appears to be a harmless cat, with an orange and black striped coat resembling that of a tiger. It's a kitten.
Mm-hmm.
Remote feeds and still photos also show this illusion, although it is unknown whether the photo itself is affected or merely the observer. SCP-247's true nature has been confirmed by analysis of weight, water displacement, and dental molds made from bite marks. It is unknown exactly how 247 generates this illusion. There are two components to the illusion. First, a mimetic effect that changes the perceived image of 247 to that of a kitten, and second, a second component which radiates outward from the subject, diminishing according to the inverse square law and half strength at redacted meters. Any sentient being within this field comes under the impression that 247 is completely harmless, regardless of prior knowledge or experience. Individuals in this field also show extreme reluctance to harm or allow others to harm 247, even while being actively mauled by the subject. It says harmed, I'm going to call it what it is.
Uh-huh.
This psychic field can be blocked with SCP-148 or avoided by striking from well outside effective range. The mimetic effect is not blocked by SCP-148 as of yet. No one has been able to see SCP-247 as anything but a small striped cat. Typically, SCP-247 will begin to purr or mew when approached by a human. The human will remark that this is adorable and approach to pet the subject. This has been observed even in persons who highly dislike cats. SCP-247 has been known to accept affection from its victims for upward of 7 minutes before disemboweling and devouring them. Genetic analysis shows a slight deviation from a typical Bengal tiger genotype, indicating possible contamination, data expunged, and all further breeding experiments require O5 level approval. The resulting hybrids have been designated SCP-247-1. See experiment log 247A14 for more details. Addendum 247-A. A series of tests in exposing SCP-247 and the control subjects to various non-human animals. Control testing took place in an exact replica of 247's enclosure. Control A is a yellow kitten matching SCP-247's apparent size and age. Control B is a fully grown Bengal tiger matching 247's actual weight. Experiment 247A-1. Date essentially redacted. Test subject, a mixed breed dog, mostly terrier, a known cat chaser. Control test A. Subject immediately began barking and ran at the control, which retreated up a nearby tree. Control test B. Subject cowered in the corner as far away from the control as possible. Control took no notice of the subject. Results. Subject ran towards SCP-247, barking loudly. At approximately 5 meters away, subject slowed to a halt and became silent. At this point, SCP-247 rolled over and made a mewing sound, believed to be a sign of annoyance. The subject retreated to a far corner of the enclosure with its tail between its legs. Notes: that was extremely odd. Further testing recommended. Researcher redacted. Approved. O5 redacted. Experiment 247A 02, 1, and 2. Test subject. A male tabby kitten with the same apparent age as 247. Control test A. Subject played with the control in the manner expected of kittens. Control test B. Subject climbed a tree and attempted to hide itself from the control, displaying visible signs of terror. Results. Test 1. Subject approached 247 and mewed. 247 responded in kind and played with the tabby kitten. The resulting footage is extremely odd. At one point, 247 lifts the subject, which appears to be the same size as 247, with a single forepaw. At another point, 247 lifts the subject with its mouth, clearly showing that its mouth is much larger than it appears to be. The leading researcher characterized this as adorable, but remarked that it gave him a headache. Due to a faulty recorder, this test had to be repeated. Subject approached 247 as above. 247 made a deep purring sound analogous to a growl. Subject reacted as in control test B. This seems to indicate that 247 has some degree of conscious control over its apparent appearance. Researcher redacted. Now, I'm not going to read all of these test logs because there's a lot of them here.
And they all are more ridiculous each time. By the
Oh,
way.
yeah. Well, that's the way it usually goes with the SCP Foundation. And some of these, like I said, they're absolutely hilarious. Some of them are absolutely terrifying.
And some of them are just plain stupid.
Yeah. Oh, and some of them make you feel really sorry for the skip involved.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Dr. Bright, my favorite character from the franchise, you actually have to feel sorry for that guy.
Is he a beaker?
No, he's literally the guy whose soul is stuck in an amulet.
Well, no, but you know what I'm saying. Is he the beaker type lab assistant?
No.
Okay.
No. Tommy, you said you've got some experience with SCP. Do you have a particular favorite one that you'd like to revisit?
I never understood what the hell was going on, so I've read a few. That's it.
Do you have a little bit better understanding now?
Now I got an idea what the hell is going on. And yeah, I can understand why one of our commenters was just totally lost. Because I was too.
Oh yeah, it's easy to be lost with this. Especially if you just jump into the deep end of the pool.
Yeah, Slick South. He's like, I have no idea what the hell's going on. Well, neither did I the first time I saw one of these. I thought it was a series, and I was, okay, this would be cool. I could get into this. Why is it different every time? After about 3, I was done.
Well, I've been introduced to it through GTA RP communities. And there's actually some YouTubers who do GTA RP with SCP
themes.
Yeah, one of them is Siren Head that I've seen. You've got a Phantom Police Officer is one of them.
Do you have a particular favorite one that you want to try to see what the actual article talks about? Because if I know what the number is, I can find it for you.
I don't know the number, but I know that there's like a ghostly police officer that's like in a weird time skip thing.
Okay, let me take a look.
And he drives an older police car than what the modern cops drive.
Mm-hmm.
And when he catches you, he eats you and kills you. Yeah, it's weird. They did an SCP of him, but I don't know if it's a real thing or not.
I think it is. I just did a Google search for SCP Ghost Police Officer. It looks like SCP-973 is the one we're looking for.
Okay.
Ooh.
So let's see what that one is. That's one I am not familiar with. All right, SCP-973. And we're going to probably go ahead and have this one be the last one, so that way if Jimmy decides to go live, we can go and harass his Skeletor butt.
Oh yeah, and I'm not going to pull any punches tonight, man. I'm going to fall asleep, and that's the end of it.
SCP-973. Object Class, Euclid. Special Containment Procedures. SCP-973's nature precludes it from full containment within the Foundation. Due to the danger it presents, the 60-kilometer stretch of U.S. route redacted, on which it is known to manifest, is to be under satellite surveillance at all times. Any vehicles attempting to travel the designated section of highway between 2200 and 0430 are to be diverted to detours at exits redacted and redacted, by Foundation personnel. Trespassers are to be forcibly arrested and detained if the need arises. Description: SCP-973 consists of two entities. SCP-973-1 is a police cruiser, resembling those used by redacted state troopers in the early 1970s. Outlaw, does this sound familiar?
That's it. That's exactly it.
Okay.
Nice.
The vehicle appears to be in advanced state of disrepair. Eyewitness accounts have consistently mentioned the large dents in doors and hood, a heavily cracked windshield, a heavily rusting and loose rear bumper secured with duct tape. This
Ooh.
must be in Mississippi.
It's got to be a southern thing or a salt using state, maybe Minnesota.
SCP-973-2 is reported as a Caucasian male in his late 40s, wearing a redacted state trooper uniform, dating from the time period as the SCP in question. Subject is described as a balding, slightly overweight, and having a handlebar mustache. SCP-973 will manifest at night when another vehicle enters the designated territory.
Wow.
And is believed to be triggered by the target vehicle accelerating over a certain speed limit. This speed limit varies, with the average being in the area of 88.5 kilometers per hour, aka 55 miles an hour, but can range anywhere from between 53.3 kilometers per hour, 35 miles an hour, and 112.7 kilometers per hour, 70 miles per hour. No predictable pattern or connection between differing limits has been found as of yet. When this limit is broken, SCP-973 will appear approximately 0.4 kilometers behind the target vehicle and will chase down the target at high speeds with the siren and flashers on. This is accompanied by a looping message played on the target's radio, consisting of the phrase, "Run, expletive deleted." In redacted percent of cases, the target will flee with SCP-973 in pursuit and will be overtaken in 1.6 minutes. At this point, data expunged. The remaining 34 individuals and 19 vehicles have been found within 6.4 kilometers of the affected roadway. The range of damage done to the bodies includes evisceration. Will not say that on YouTube. Data expunged. And the three cases where the body had been damaged by the impact to the point that visual identification was impossible. 5 survivors are within Foundation custody, all suffering from various degrees of mental trauma. The recovered vehicles showcase heavy impact damage, both environmental and inflicted, and severe burn damage to the interior. Addendum 1. Destroying the roadway affected by SCP-973 has proven ineffective. The demolition of part of State Route Redacted in 1983 led to SCP-973 relocating itself to its current position. Addendum 2. In August Redacted, 20 Redacted, attempt to capture and contain SCP-973 fails, resulting in the deaths of 9 agents. SCP-973 is believed to be wounded, but not incapacitated, reappearing 9 days later. First-hand accounts indicate a change in SCP-973-2's appearance, as shown in the excerpt from the post-mission interview of Agent Redacted. Agent Redacted: I can't really say, he just looked different. His eyes were red, I remember that, and his mouth was just this black hole. No teeth, no tongue, just a hole. I was too busy shooting at him to get a better look than that.
Oh my god.
SCP-973's area of effect seems to be expanding, as does the window of time that manifestations occur. Security protocols have been adapted to this.
Jesus.
So, gentlemen, how was this introduction to the wonderful, wild, and absolutely batshit insane world of the SCP Foundation?
I liked it. I actually enjoyed it.
There's going to be some Bronto stories just for Rhino.
Hey, like I said, I want to do a stream one of these days where each of us writes up our own skip, reads it off to the panel, and then the audience gets to decide if that's as though they are members of the O5 Council, if the SCPs we present are worth going ahead and funding for another calendar year, or if they need to go into storage.
That sounds fun.
So you guys know where to find the SCP Wiki now. You guys know a few of the YouTube channels that produce them.
Yeah.
The Vulgan does a really good job of doing narrations. Some of them appear to be full cast narrations of multiple SCP items. SCP Orientation is essentially a read-off of of a similar thing, only done up in a way much more similar to what you would expect from a job orientation than just a straight reading of the item. And SCP Explained does animated story tellings based on the SCP Foundation. And believe me, I haven't touched on any of the more well-known or more charismatic skips.
Mm-hmm.
We could have gone with the ones that everybody knows about. SCP-053, the young girl.
Mm.
SCP-0.
I think I've seen
SCP-0.
that one.
SCP-049, the Plague Doctor.
Mm.
We could have gone with the iPods. I want to say their number is 193. We could have gone with the Old Man. Also known as Evil Pop with no restrictions. Look him up, and you'll see why I say that.
I'm
guys.
afraid to ask, but is there any one of them related to dolls?
Yes.
Oh, there's got to be multiples.
Of course.
Okay, hang on. I said
Of
that was
course.
going to be the last one, but I have to do this now just because you opened the door.
Oh shit.
No. Oh no. And now I'm curious if there's any of Giant Hooters chicks.
There will be.
There will be now. She was mad about her pet cutting.
174. SCP-174.
Oh no. A dolly.
But is it a real doll gone bad? Or is it just
Okay.
Sally?
Hang on. Be nice to this one. It's only a dummy.
Oh.
Oh no, even worse. I hate those
Yeah, I hate
Puppet.
them damn things.
puppets, mannequins, dummies, dolls. Oh, I can't stand
That's
none of them.
Fucking
Okay, Slick Self just actually named one of the more popular ones.
shy guy.
Yeah, yes. You see that guy's face? He will kill you. And everyone between you and him that makes the mistake of looking at his face.
Yeah. You know, this is something my brother, I think, is really into.
Okay. SCP-174. Item class, or object class, safe, strikeout, Euclid, C instant 174-A. Special containment procedures. SCP-174 is to be contained within a storage unit 07 at Site 19. Removal of SCP-174 from containment requires the approval of 2 Level 4 personnel familiar with the entity. It is preferable to use personnel with high psychic resistance scale scores when interacting with SCP-174. All personnel in contact with SCP-174 are to undergo psychological evaluation. Those who display obsessive or protective tendencies towards the item are to be treated with Class B amnestics and monitored for 72 hours. Addendum to containment procedures. Redacted date following Incident 174-A. SCP-174 and the main chamber of Storage Unit 07 are to be monitored at all times via video surveillance. Abnormal activity must be reported to Dr. Redacted immediately. Furthermore, a GPS tracking device is to be installed on SCP-174 in order to expedite recovery should the item translocate outside of Foundation custody. Description: SCP-174 is a wooden ventriloquist figure measuring 53 centimeters from head to toe, with somewhat ragged clothing and a slight damage to several locations. Judging by the item's style and state of repair, it dates from the early 20th century. The eyes and mouth of SCP-174 can be manipulated by a mechanism inside the figure. When viewed in peripheral vision, subjects report on occasion SCP-174 is looking directly at them with an expression of longing or sadness. When subjects look directly at 174, this anomalous expression is not visible. Viewing 174 indirectly, such as in a mirror or a live video feed, appears to increase the likelihood of this effect manifesting itself. Personnel in the vicinity of 174 repeat a general feeling of sadness or sympathy directed towards the figure, but cannot explain the reason for this.
Oh my
Prolonged,
God.
prolonged exposure can lead to personnel personifying the figure to greater extents, particularly those with low psychic resistance scale scores, will in some cases begin to act as though 174 were a living being, e.g., cradling it as if it was a baby. When informed of their abnormal behavior, all personnel revert to a standard behavior patterns for at least several minutes. Subjects who place 174 on their hand report an urge to converse with it. When questioned, they frequently report that the figure is lonely and needs companionship. The subject will also begin speaking for 174 and manipulating its expression. When speaking for the figure, the subject's voice will take on a higher-pitched, childlike tone. Recordings taken with high-sensitivity microphones have determined that at no point does the figure itself actually speak or make any discernible noise. Regardless of the subject's experience, the act will be almost perfect. The conversation will quickly move toward a discussion of the figure's emotional state, particularly in relation to its past, in most cases leading to the repeated and therefore which, if any, is true unknown. Or no one story has ever been repeated, and therefore which, if any, is true is unknown. Researchers have theorized that SCP-174 may have low-level telepathic abilities, as each story seems to be based around the theme that will have a particular resonance with the current subject. Past this point, subjects will show great affection towards SCP-174 and will attempt to protect it from people who come too close by or try to interact with it, in some cases with deadly force. Subjects often refer to SCP-174 as their baby, or use similarly strong terms of endearment when referring to it. My precious. My precious.
Oh my
This
God.
effect persists for several hours after 174, and the subject had been separated. And in at least one case, the effect had not dissipated 2 weeks after the final interaction. Whether the effect would have lessened is unknown, as the subject in question was terminated, owing to lack of compelling reason for further study. Subjects who are completely isolated from 174 will become paranoid as to the figure's safety, and often undergo a mental collapse similar to that observed in mothers separated from young children. Class B or stronger amnestics have been shown to be effective in curing both the obsessive effect and the majority of any resultant mental trauma. However, almost all who undergo such treatment complain of feelings of loss and can become depressive. I'm not going to read the experiment logs because they're just more of the same. But Outlaw, do you regret asking that question now?
Yes, I do. And now
Hey,
I'm
Sean.
terrified.
Hey, so we're on
And
SCPs now.
Yeah. Well, tonight
Hell
was
yeah.
going to be a discussion on time travel, Mandela effect, and CERN. But
Ooh.
Crusader Nate's not here, and that's a topic I'm pretty sure he would love to rip apart.
Oh, I'd love to hear his commentary on it.
So I decided to shelve that one for now and stick with the paranormal, but a more allegedly fictional.
oh, and there's got to be some of giant
Oh, yeah.
waitresses.
Oh yeah.
Dude, Garfield's an SCP.
Yeah.
Garfield is? Really?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm not going to look that one up because I've already closed the wiki for it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
But yeah,
Gar-
he's an SCP.
yeah,
didn't know
Garfield's
that.
a skip. There's actually a Boba Fett skip.
That doesn't surprise me.
Interesting. So a cat that eats lasagna is
Okay,
Well,
specifically the Garfield SCP specifically deliberately attacks people who have done damage to the Garfield franchise in some way, shape, or form.
oh
yeah, so
wow.
don't talk shit about Garfield, man.
As far as giant waitresses, there's over 7,000 of the. There's over 7,000 of these things. I have not read every one of them. I'm sure there's one somewhere.
Oh, you can easily binge watch like SCP Explained, and they
I-
have
I-
good infographics.
Oh
And
yeah,
there's a
Oh.
whole lot of fan-made films about SCPs. There are games on SCPs.
Yes. I was going to say thank you, Sean, for reminding me. There is
Oh,
if you want to
shit.
see. Oh, I don't know if you were listening to.
But you're not on the
top-
O5 Council yet.
no, it doesn't say I'm 05. It says I'm level 5.
I don't
That's
know
the,
if
that's
you
the highest
were.
you can get without being 05.
I
Go
don't
ahead,
know if
Mando.
you were
Or not
listening to
Mando,
the cop
Paolo.
story a while ago, Sean, but there's a channel on YouTube that does the GTA 5 RPs, the SCPs in real time, in role play form.
Oh.
And that cop story with the Phantom police car and all that's actually in a video that they enacted. So I'm trying to remember the name of the channel. It's like
Is that the one where they went over the like a chain link fence thing that they didn't really observe until it was too late?
Hey, I'll be right back, gentlemen.
Alrighty.
I'm trying to remember. It's like one of these RP GTA 5 channels that enacts role playing stuff, and they do the SCPs in real time.
Okay.
And that cop one was one of them, and it was a really really good episode too. Like they've got mods in the game where they can make the car disappear and make the guy look like a phantom, and
Yep.
it's really cool.
Hey, Sean.
No, the modding community has been really, really huge when it comes to SCPs. I wish they would have done more on RimWorld, but a lot of modders, I think, are starting to turn to create their own unpublished games.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they are, because a lot of them are a lot better than what you find coming out of the official channels. But
Yes.
if you're wondering what happened to Dr. Bright of late,
It's been a long time since I followed them, Bright.
I've
Oh no.
yeah, he's in my possession at the moment. Don't worry, he's safely
Okay.
secured.
As long as you don't wear it.
Absolutely, or touch
wow.
it.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
no, don't ever put that on. Otherwise, Mando gets hijacked by Dr. Bright, and good luck getting him back.
Well, because it causes instant brain death.
Yeah, and then he takes over your body, but you're dead.
Yep.
Oh, that is terrifying.
So then you slowly rot away while he runs around.
Actually,
causing
no,
hate
you're-
and discontent.
Your
No.
your
No,
body.
it's just like your soul
operating.
is gone.
Okay, he just vacates you.
Oh, so it's like
Yeah, he vacates your what is it? Your soul from your body.
He basically
Yeah.
that amulet in the SCP universe is basically an eviction notice for your soul from your body.
So
Right.
he basically does that thing like they do on Supernatural, where Sam became soulless.
I guess so. I've never watched Supernatural.
But he
Yeah, I
did
never
that
have
to
I.
get out of hell, right?
I don't remember, to be honest.
Because that's one of the like early seasons where
And
things were still
before-
good.
And before he closes the show, somebody made a meme the other day talking about Toy Story. So
Oh,
what if
I
the
think that's an
toys-
SCP too.
It is.
So what if the toys are dead and Andy's playing with their corpse?
Oh,
The toys, and that
Okay.
that kind of screwed me up, to be honest.
Has anybody heard from the waffle maker to know if he's actually doing a show tonight?
I
I
ain't
don't know. I
seen
put a
shit.
message out in Gilded. I haven't heard back. Let me shoot him on Facebook too.
Well, don't shoot him. We might
No,
still want him
shoot him.
around.
Shoot him. Give him a squirt right in the eye. Yeah.
Homo suspicion points assessed there, Tommy.
Ah, whatever.
Yeah,
I don't give
at least a
fuck.
few.
I never give a fuck. Oh, squirrel! Oh, wait a minute. No, that's a rabbit. Sorry.
No.
we've already traumatized poor Outlaw with squirrel stuff once tonight.
Oh no.
Like-
The
Oh, no.
squirrels in my yard are fine. I don't mess with them. They don't mess with me. But this is actually a little cottontail rabbit.
Oh, nice.
Oh yeah. I used to have a coyote that show up all the time.
Let me see if Jimmy's been posting to Facebook.
Yeah,
I'll let you know if
he just posted on Facebook.
Hmm.
He just posted there. I just saw a message from him.
Mm.
So his most recent one is 5 hours, but I don't. Yeah. The most
See-
recent one I got from him is 5 hours ago. Maybe he commented.
Yeah, I don't know.
He's at least awake today.
Yeah.
Jimmy's.
I learned quite a bit at that meeting I had to go to. That was my HOA thing.
Oh,
Oh God,
Holy
you're part of an
shit.
HOA?
Yeah, have to
I'm
be.
sorry. I'm sorry.
I think the worst part of it was I'm in a room full of I'm the youngest guy in the room,
Mm-hmm.
minus maybe one couple. I don't know their age, but they're not graying. But people are acting like fucking kids, like
Oh
children.
yeah, they do.
I was embarrassed to be
Oh,
in the same room.
I have sworn that if I ever own a home, I will never willingly join an HOA.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, if you buy the property, HOA comes with it if it already exists. And in some
Yes.
areas, like my sister is dealing with this now, where in her neighborhood, she was like one of a few houses. Now they're breaking the threshold of the borough law to be forced into an HOA or the creation of an HOA because so many houses were built in the last few years.
You can
That's-
fight that, but it's
Notice-
going to take some money.
Notice what I said. If I have any say in it, I refuse to be
Mhm.
part of one.
Yeah. Well,
And
I
if
know
I
one
have-
guy who doesn't pay his dues,
Mm-hmm.
but he gets sent to collections, which I spent a very long time rebuilding my credit the last 3 years.
Mhm.
If somebody sends something to collections, I'm going to be fucking livid
Oh yeah.
because my now good credit score can get smacked back down to an average, and that will fuck up a shitload of opportunities.
Well, and it
Yeah.
only takes one of those
Yeah.
things.
And it takes 7 years for it to go away after you pay.
If you don't continually challenge it and make them remove it.
Well, even if you force them to remove it successfully, they can still fight to have it left on your credit.
Yes. It just
'Cause-
has to have
That's so
special
cool.
notes on it.
Because everything I've ever read about HOAs, they basically want to run their neighborhoods like mini Justin Trudeau's.
Oh, I saw that with these people. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, you motherfuckers, we're gonna have problems.
Yep. Yep.
Now, if you get a competent HOA president, that can be mitigated, from what I understand. But
Well, and trusted.
There were a lot of openings for board members. I was like, please don't make me do this. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So some more competent heads applied, and hopefully some more will resign later on.
okay, I'm going to ask this question. I'm going to give a little bit of context here before I ask it, because we've got about
Yeah.
10 minutes before I plan to kill the stream anyway.
Okay.
First of all, I consider myself a centrist. I don't consider myself Republican or a Democrat, because both
Mhm.
sides are idiots.
Yes.
Same here.
However, with the way that politics in this country has gone in the last 20 years,
hmm
I am now seen as being as Republican as Reagan was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the Overton window.
Yeah,
It's shifted so drastically
Yep.
over decades, and then in the last 5 years, it is
It's gonna-
probably no 5, almost the last 10 years. It has shifted so far.
It's gone nuclear.
Dramatically. Yep. Dramatically.
Well, yeah, like Tim Pool always says, he was, he was a very left-leaning moderate, like almost leftist, until the Overton window change, and now he's a conservative by what the standards are today, but his views have generally not shifted as much.
Mm-hmm.
But what I was gonna, and this is actually gonna be a question: is it my imagination, or am I just completely out of my bloody mind, which is possible? Have every form of government that we have shifted more and more to the left, from the local school boards and HOAs all the way up to Congress?
Probably because they were doing mission creep for many decades
Yeah.
after the fall of the Soviet Union.
It's not mission creep, it's creeps on a mission.
Creeps
Well,
on a
there's
mission.
that.
Okay,
Yeah.
that too. But yeah, they have been doing like, it started with institutions, and then it makes sense that they go to smaller government before bigger government, because
Because
when
it's
they
easier for
eventually
them to get their
graduate,
tentacles in.
yeah, when they eventually graduate to big government, like, career politicians go from local, state, then national or federal office. You're getting as somebody who's been indoctrinated for so long and probably played the creep game, both physically and metaphorically.
Yep.
So no, you're probably not wrong there, Mando.
See, I've said this to
Because
other
I
people.
also got a. Sorry. One last interjection, and then I'll go back to you. I got something in the mail that I have to take action on. It was a notice of. I don't have to. I want to. It is a notice that. What is it? Apparently, our council voted to allow people on the sex offender registry to move closer to schools or within.
Really?
Yep.
I'm pretty
And
sure
I'm
that's
like,
illegal.
Please don't. I don't know if federal law mandates it or if it's state law. Or maybe we have no state law on it because they think that, well, usually it's court ordered. You're not allowed to be within certain distances.
Yeah, it's a restraining order.
And I want to say things like that are more or less state mandated, not federally mandated, but there are some weird loopholes there.
Yeah. But I don't know how close, but just the thought that they're allowing sex offenders closer to schools. Granted, there are schools popping up left and right in my city because it's growing so largely, and everybody wants to get out of the far left big city.
Well, in the public,
they want to come out here, take their beliefs out here.
Yep.
Because there's less people around, less crime, even though per capita we have terrible crime rate right now. But we're only 700,000 people inside a state with, the square mileage of the entire Midwest. And a panhandle to tip of our island spans further than the continental United States horizontally.
Wow.
So anything bad happens, such a large percentage points are attributed to it versus, say, like a big city. But even when they have high crime rate, that means everything is happening like at every street corner. Versus us, where we're so spread out, we're still at less than one person per square mile population density overall.
Well, and my understanding of Alaska, too, was it's always been kind of a frontier. So the crimes have always been prevalent, but they've never been so out of control that it couldn't be dealt with on a local level.
Anchorage is one that I think is out of control.
Yeah, but they've also got a
For a while
serious
ago,
drug
it
problem.
was every weekend police was killing somebody because they're being stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Not the police, offenders are being stupid and
Right.
getting themselves killed.
Right. And that's due to the drug issues there in Anchorage.
Oh yeah, drugs are really, really bad here.
Yeah.
I mean, when everybody was just smoking weed, I don't
Yeah,
remember there being much problems. But people have to graduate to a bigger and higher high that
Mhm.
only the illegal drugs can, satisfy.
Right.
And since we're Alaska, we're an international port of call.
Right.
So we get all the trafficking from everywhere. I mean, even the Ukrainians have an intelligence assets here in
yeah.
Alaska.
I'm sorry to say this, but the Ukrainians have got assets everywhere. It's being paid for by the United States taxpayer.
Well, especially recently, but yeah.
Mm-hmm. And it was since 2015, I believe. The fuck.
See, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and
Hopefully
I'm gonna redirect this back to what the initial part of the stream was about.
Yeah, go ahead.
And people who know about SCP wonder why it is I'm willing to let myself retreat into that for Fantasyland when I want a quick escape that I don't have to think about something that's hard sci-fi for. Given how horrible 90% of the SCP wiki is. But given what we know about the modern world, wouldn't you rather live in a world with a almost indestructible reptile, a psychotic mask that wants to take your brain, and a goofy immortal doctor who lives in an amulet that basically resets people's souls just by putting it on? Would you rather live in our world or the one I just described?
Mm-hmm.
Our world, because I don't know how familiar the rest of you are with SCP, but the world seems to end on a very consistent basis.
Oh, that's just because they got 2,000 and they can reset it.
Yep.
Don't be a baby.
I don't know. Maybe that is a good thing for us to have, but at the same time, it still happens.
You're killing me, Outlaw. You're killing me.
Outlaw, because I know you probably don't have the context for this one. Yellowstone National Park is an SCP.
Yeah.
That's not surprising.
Specifically, it's SCP-2000, which is essentially a device that can reset the human race in the event of an end-of-the-world scenario. The problem is, it'll put up a copy of any one of us, but it won't completely reset you. So if you get killed by whatever the end-of-the-world scenario is, your clone may or may not know that you existed.
Oh, goodness.
Oh, so it's just a cloning thing. No, you do die.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, I'm not exactly cool with that.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that, to be honest.
Well, if you want a really fun, goofy one that you do kind of need to have a little bit of background on, look up SCP 1983. Oh God. 444 Bush versus Gore.
Oh God.
It's an SCP. It's an SCP story where Al Gore was taken over by a shape-shifting alien.
Oh, that's right.
And Dr. Jack Bright had to take over the comatose body of George W. Bush to win the election.
Oh my God.
It is one of the goofiest SCP stories I've come across.
Now I need to know if there's any Trump SCPs.
Oh, you know
Oh,
there
I'm sure
is.
there are.
Okay, you know what? Let's just Google that real quick, and I'm not going to read it off if there is. I'm just going to go yes or no.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. I know that I know there's got to be. And by the way, I couldn't get this picture to be like the full background pic, Tommy. So
Yeah, I don't know what's up with that, man.
I don't know.
Oh, don't you got to use a VR background to do that?
The image that I'm using, it only like tries to capture just a small portion of the picture, so I've got to try to ratio it.
Well, and I
Okay.
saw
Oh,
the original
okay.
on.
Probably just need to get the aspect ratio back.
Yeah.
Okay,
ahead,
gentlemen.
Yeah.
Yes, there are actually 2 Donald Trump SCPs.
Only 2?
There's Donald Trump designated SCP 5004-B
Mhm.
and SCP 2826.
Hmm.
Hang on. 2826. Okay, 2826 just has Donald Trump being mentioned.
Okay.
So not an actual SCP then.
Yeah, but 50 or 5004 takes you to a different SCP site, so it may not be the official one. Let's take a quick look on the
Well,
SCP wiki.
I wouldn't be surprised if that shit gets purged as soon as it's submitted.
No. The thing is, it's really super open how people are able to do it.
Okay.
The actual title. Okay, the title of this SCP is Megalomania.
Mm.
And
If that's the case, there should be one for Napoleon, Hitler, Caesar, and a few others. Charlemagne.
okay. Apparently, what SCP-5004 is a group designation for anomalous phenomenon affecting the executive branch of the United States government. SCP-5004-A is a colossal thaumaturgical entity identified as Surpresa Prime by the FBI, UIU, and self-titled as Old Gorman. I'm not going to read the entire
Yeah, don't.
darn thing, but it's goofy. You're gonna have to read this one for yourself because this is a. Woo. I have no words.
No words.
And given the fact that one of my personal favorite ones is 049, the Plague Doctor,
Mhm.
that says something right there, in my opinion.
Oh yeah.
And Outlaw, if you ever get bored enough, look up the first 100 SCPs.
Okay, I'll do it.
Let me rephrase. The first 100 minus 001.
001 keeps changing.
The question is there actually a 001?
Well, it's also
Oh.
yeah, because maybe it's different for each universe or each dimension.
Yeah, that SCP-001 Outlaw is kind of a joke.
I guess.
Because the original SCP was actually 173.
Yeah.
And they built the wiki around that particular item.
Mm-hmm. I guess.
So everything that numerically came before it has a slightly different writing style than 173.
Mm-hmm.
And they've tried to codify it and congeal it all down to one unified standard, but never quite succeeded.
Interesting.
But on that note, gentlemen, I think this is a good time to call it, since we have been going for about 2 hours, and I usually try to keep it at or below 2 hours.
Well, and I just started a fight with Red Pill Rhino in the group chat on his channel, on his guild.
Oh,
so.
no.
Oh, God.
You're always starting shit with somebody, man.
Oh, I know. It's fun.
He's a pot stirrer and possibly a pot smoker.
Nope, I will not touch pot. I cannot stand it because it makes me paranoid and paralyzed. None of these things are good.
I'm glad to know you know that's only a joke.
Yes.
So, Outlaw, do you have any final thoughts for this evening?
If you guys want to see, like, and I've done mention it before, but I'll say it again in case anybody's interested. If you want to see these SCPs in a real time kind of format, like just for fun, there's GTA 5 RP communities that actually enact SCP scenarios in role play form. And that one or two of the stories that he talked about tonight, you can see them perform. It's really fascinating, entertaining. They're like really hard to stop watching. They're addictive. So yeah, go give it a check. Check it out. I'm gonna see if I can find the link real quick. All these other guys talk.
Okay, Tommy, since you were on longer than Sean, sorry, Sean. You want to give your
No
final
worries.
thoughts?
Final thoughts on what?
Just do you have any final comments for tonight before I close out the stream?
Well, I'm going to deviate completely from what we did tonight. It was fun.
Okay.
It was good. It was funny. But everybody needs to dogpile on Rhino about his ground effect lighting. And we thought he was from Georgia after displaying that shit.
Okay, Sean St. George, do you have any closing comments?
Stay out of HOAs if at all
Yes.
possible.
Yeah.
Stay out of HOAs or stay out of HOEs? We have to make sure you're speaking clearly here.
Look
You
at
know what? Yes.
look at the chat. Broken Pine, you're awesome.
Okay, guys. So
No, you're awesome, Broken Pine.
I'm gonna. Well, damn it, I'm gonna have to link this backstage because I don't have the stream itself pulled up. But here's the link to this guy's GTA
Hey.
5 channel.
Yeah, if you drop it in the private chat, I'll drop it into the YouTube.
There you
Okay,
go.
there you go. So for everybody that wants to see
I might be
that,
backstage here in a moment. Doggo's whining.
All right.
okay. Yep, Tommy, that took 5 minutes to make that picture.
It looks good, dude, except that the StreamYard's duck is right over her face.
Yeah.
You're in
Oh,
the
hang
wrong
on.
corner.
That's an easy fix.
Yeah, you're in the wrong
Hey.
corner, my friend.
Ah, doggone
In case
it.
you guys like any of that kind of stuff, it's just I got to come up with some more themes. Like I've done 3 of those already. I need to come up with something else. But
There we
Yeah,
go.
You actually, that's a pretty good. You did pretty good with that
Yeah,
one. I like it.
that's some good artwork there, Outlaw.
Uh-huh.
yeah,
I mean,
And
it's
that-
taken from the 50-foot tall woman from the
Yeah.
1950s.
Not only
Yeah.
that, but it reminds me heavily of the all of his artwork like this reminds me heavily of the old pinup
Mhm.
girl art that you used to see on aircraft nose.
that's so fun. Fun fact: One Fast Dak actually has a pinup girl in his main avatar. If you ever pay attention, his avatar inspired me to make my own.
Mhm.
That's what I do. I try to base it off of like the old pinup girls, so that's what I use
Yep.
for mine. She's just one of 2 avatars so far of this channel. So
Yeah, I
See,
haven't seen you do a beta page yet.
See, the thing that has annoyed me for years, that they got rid of the nose art on airplanes, the Air Force and the Navy did, because it
Yeah.
objectified women too much. When you look at the artwork that was actually done,
Mm-hmm.
those were not okay. There were some of them that were questionable, but those were not super derogatory.
No,
Mhm, mhm.
No,
no, they weren't at
wasn't.
all.
It wasn't like some of this Rule 34 garbage that you see
No.
nowadays.
No.
Now, granted, in the 1940s and 50s, it essentially was Rule 34, but
Well, and that's only because of societal standards
Degradation.
at that time. Well, no, the standards at that time were they had just gotten beyond showing an ankle, a skirt above the knee, that kind of thing.
well, no,
They-
when I say societal degradation, I mean to the point that we actually are willing to accept things that are
Oh God.
far, far more
Yeah, let's put 5 pounds of steel in our face and nipples and clit and belly button and wherever else we could find a spot for it, and then tat ourselves to the hilt and become the illustrated man, even if we're a woman. Oh, wait a minute. Did I misgender somebody? Oh, go fuck yourself. Anyway.
Well, so when I created, like I was telling Rhino the other night, when I created these avatars, I wanted a backstory with them, and the whole purpose was to create something that people could make as like a downloadable skin or a character DLC
Yeah.
if they ever did like a video game. Because we used to have this guy in the community that did that. He would make caricatures of different Red Pill and MGTOW guys, and then he would fight people and stuff with them. So that's kind of what the whole idea was for these.
Hey, Outlaw,
Was
I'm
he
going to be
going
honest.
death match?
Hey, Outlaw, I'm going to be honest with you. If I ever go ahead and get one of the Forge World Marauder bombers or Forge World Thunderhawk, or not Thunderhawk, Thunderbolt fighters,
Yeah.
I'm going to reach out to you and see if I can get one of your avatars without the background, because I will make it into a water slide decal and put it as nose art on that aircraft.
Oh, sweet.
Ooh, nice. There's a few variations of this one that I use. There's a red-headed version. There's a brown head. There's one with, let's see, boots. She wears boots.
I've seen the boots one.
There's one where the outfit is black. The whole idea is she's supposed to be like an assassin. Because the male avatar is an assassin, like an outlaw assassin type character. So,
right.
It was for fun, right?
I like it. I think it's fun.
Yeah, it looks pretty darn good.
And there's nothing nasty or over the top about it. It's moderately it's moderately sexualized, but that's because it's a beautiful female figure.
Yeah. I mean,
well, and, there's going to be a stream of its own one of these days. How art has turned from an actual celebration of things that should be considered beautiful to a plain, banal, soulless endeavor that most people...
Or a crucifix in a bottle of urine.
Yeah, or just a complete offense. Yeah. That's gonna be a stream one of these days. I just don't know when. But on that note, to close this out, for those on the panel, go ahead and read over a few of the SCP articles. And I think here around Halloween, for the Halloween stream, what we might do is read our own skip articles out there and let the chat vote on which one was the best, most demented, whatever categorization we want to go with for it.
I see Cthulhu incoming.
Cthulhu's already a skip.
No, I will have my own incident.
There is actually Cthulhu Jr. that is contained willingly by the SCP Foundation, and he regularly has his containment site broken into by sociopaths sociopathic cultists who want to free him
worship him.
Yeah, that want to free him and destroy the world, and literally all he wants to do is sit there and play his video games.
Oh, God. I might have to see if I can dig up one of the old web comics that really would scar Outlaw, just like the one that I sent.
Oh, God.
But it's even older than that.
No, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that to him tonight.
No.
Tonight's not a brain breaker. Tonight is the reset valve, the relief valve from the bullshit that we've all been putting up with for the last several weeks.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
But those of you in the chat,
I'm back.
Hey Sean, did you hear what I said for my closeout just now?
Nope. I just got my chair back and put my headphones on.
For Halloween. Here's what I think I'd like to do. Those of us that are on the panel, write up our own SCP articles. We read them off. We read them off on the stream that is as close to Halloween as we can get, and let the
Okay.
audience pick which one they think is the best, most demented, or if the SCP Foundation were real, would be the most likely to continue getting funded by that organization.
That sounds interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know I've been working on one that I am going to eventually submit to the SCP Wiki,
Mm-hmm.
but I can easily come up with all sorts of demented crud that could easily run the gamut for any of the 3 major classes.
Oh yeah, especially anything medical related.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
given some of the stuff I saw,
Oh yeah.
and honestly, given the community we're in, I could really mess with people and make a BOB that's actually an SCP. And I know what I would title
That
it,
should be fun.
and I know what I would title it too: self-insemination.
Oh.
Oh,
Would that not fit our community perfectly?
Oh, yes.
God.
But on that note, gentlemen, I think it's time to call it for the night. You all have a good one. Those
You
of you in the
too.
chat, we salute you.
Mhm.
And see you in about 2 weeks. Hopefully it'll be something a little bit less cuckoo and a little bit more interesting. Although this
Alrighty.
might have been more interesting, I don't know. I'm gonna have to look at the likes later.
Yeah, cuckoo
Yep.
is interesting.
But everyone, be
Cuckoo for
safe.
Cocoa Pops.
Eventually, I'm gonna build an intro and outro, but that day ain't today. Goodbye.
Yep. Take it easy, man.
Take it easy.